We are circling, circling together. We are singing, singing our hearts on. This is family, this is unity, this is celebration, this is sacred. This is sacred. We are circling, circling together.
One thing is gratitude. How thankful we should be that we're able to be here and to do this. Hey, this is a beautiful place. This is a beautiful dream, and we're part of it.
Even though we are individuals, even though we are coming from different culture, but we have one common values, and we are really living that value. Not just talking about that. I know that people outside, they are political influence. There is not values. And I would like to stay with my values. So these are our values. You can do whatever you like outside, but we are living in a private area. We are following our values. That is our foundation to live these values.
To live in integrity with your values is kind of the
integrity is
the rock.
Yeah. Only then that is a personal growth. If you are living your values, that's only personal growth.
I think that's the most difficult step, really, to get out of our ego and see us as a group, as really as Aurovillian, as we. I always have the feeling we have to protect Auroville everywhere. Each of us have the feeling we have to protect this area, and this area. At the same time, we educate a lot of young people. These young people would like to come in, but Auroville is not able to support them in the way to give enough working places and this and that. And I would think if we would be more open, maybe things would get easier.
One judgment so far, it's not judgment, actually people do say commonly, oh, we must have some right international proportion. And I do accept. That's why I'm so scared to actually sit or even be part of any dialogue that is actually happening about the entry, Tamil's entry into Auroville.
If I take it wider, sort of, it's about giving and taking. Yeah. Like you talk about a piece of land, people want an acre or 2 acres in their individual house. But people coming to Auroville, it's not so much about what can Auroville give me, but what can I give to Auroville? And I think we lost that.
Kumar, I was hearing that you would like the community as a whole to look at how to have integrated residential zones.
Yeah. Each corner in Auroville, there is separation. I didn't say it's Tamil only. Yes. There are many, so the French, German, and this is a community divided like this. I don't know, maybe it feels comfortable to interact with the same culture, same nationality, or I don't know. I feel that is dividing in Auroville.
In olden times when I used to be small, more Aurovillians used to come to my house to have lunch for special occasions. And we interact more and go to their house and we play in their house. And there was a exchange, sharing, eating together. This was happening that time. But it slowly stopped. And later on we said Aurovillian villages. Before they were neighbors. Now we became villages. So we are not inviting them anymore. That's a thing we lost. That time I remember we had 2 tea shops. I think most of the people remember Maya tea shop. Yes, we all remember. And I I see there all the Aurovillians sitting having chaya and like farmer, no? They have one kundu. They're like local villagers, no? They look like that. But now they don't eat anymore vada and ada. Now pizza and other stuff they started eating. And the gap really became really far. I think we should bring back the Maya tea shop, I think.
Now our togetherness is become defragmented and we are going much more into lifestyles than into our collectivity of feeling and doing things together. So now everybody, I feel, is more concentrated on, yes, their private house, yes, their private unit, yes, their private money, and then there is I lack a sense of collective. Like, although we spend much time in talking in meetings like this, I miss a sense of, where do we go from here? It becomes like as individualistic as anywhere else.
Sonia, is it that you'd really like us to shift back to the collective and to all taking responsibility and sharing what we have here instead of our individual comfort?
Yes. I just want to briefly say I was there in the early first 20 years and some people will definitely remember. It was 100% collective, there was spirit of service, everyone had a food basket.
Oh, come on. She said everybody was in community. We were 100% together. Everybody was in service. Absolute nonsense.
We were hungry.
You know, Tapas and I are old friends. I love Tapas. But if she starts saying something that is so contrary to my experience that I can't believe it, and I think, see, most of the people here did not experience the early years. And so they believe these things. And the early years were extremely difficult. And it was a terrible time. Compared to today, a terrible time, I have to say. When people were ready to kill you. I had a knife in my chest. So, you know, I have traumas in my body from being beaten by the Sri Aurobindo Society. So, you know, when she says all these nice things, I can't take it. So it was a spontaneous thing, and I'm sorry, and I didn't mean to hurt her at all.
I should not have said all Auroville, but I have experienced beautiful things in aspiration. We were having maintenance in kind. And we were very happy. There was sharing, there was spirit of giving, and everybody worked. At least at the time when I have lived in aspiration. And one of the reasons today, if things are different and there is so much divisions, it's not cultural, but it's mainly, according to me, economic.
ஆரோவில்ன்றது எதுக்கு உருவாக்குனாங்க பார்த்தீங்கன்னாக்கா மனித ஒற்றுமை.
So he wants to take mother's initiation, and why did mother wanted to build Auroville here? She must have thought about it and traveled in the thinking process about creating Auroville here.
அதெல்லாம் நல்லா வந்திருக்கு. ஒருவேளை அன்னைக்கு லோக்கல்.
So since she has chosen this place, she understood that this has to be happening here. Therefore she started, and it started to work. In early days, when people came here to begin Auroville, locals have come and contributed their work as work. And they did not do anything else except providing their physical labor and left. And they felt that it was enough to provide physical labor and leave, and it might be felt like a heaven, you know. But now this is next generation. The next generation started. For the past 10 to 15 years, people tried to not only contribute their work, also contribute their idea. Contribute their idea, and therefore the idea that you people thought and brought here, and the idea that people are going to bring from this area, have to now put together and try to find a synthesis.
நமக்கு அந்த கருத்து வேறுபாடு வர ஆரம்பிச்சுதான்.
And I think historically also there is such a strong guilt with white people. White people carry this thing of colonialism and the recent phase of history with slavery and all these things that don't create a neutral interaction in between people. People come in with their heritage, with their past, with what they carry along with them. Christianity with that sense of guilt. We're not here, we're here to create a diversity, I mean it's unity in diversity. The diversity is necessary, the diversity is there for this richness of this multicultural community. So it's not unifying things, it's not bringing everything on the same level and trying to polish the outside so everybody looks the same. You're different, I'm different, we're all different. But to be able to see the difference beyond nationality and skin color.
Did people expect this type of novelty before they step into a place where they haven't been before? Did they prepare themselves? Of course, they prepared to come to Auroville. Did they put the right gear to live there? The right gear is the culture of this area, the language of this area. If this is the spiritual community that they are coming in, the already existing spirituality of this area and its nature, did they expect that their participation is something very important and they cannot be avoided by any means?
I actually would like maybe more of a mutual understanding, because when I hear that and for me, I truly believe that coming to Auroville is a conscious choice. Whether you have crossed the world to come here, whether you have crossed the road to come here, whether you were born here, at a point or another, you have to make the choice to adhere to Auroville. So yes, Auroville is in Tamil Nadu. And yes, Auroville is in the middle of this bioregion, surrounded by these 5 villages. Close to Pondicherry, close to Chennai, in India, in this reality of India. But Auroville has all these things to look at as a challenge of growing together. But we are here all for Auroville. Somebody coming from Russia or somebody coming from America or somebody coming from France has to understand the local Tamilians or the Tamilians or the Indians. The local Tamilians or the Indians or and the Russian has to understand the other one also. It's a mutual understanding, and people who are crossing the world are also facing major challenges to come to this community. And they're also leaving behind them a family. And that is something that also has to be acknowledged. And I'm not hearing it at all. I'm not hearing that opening in all directions. Maybe that's what's frustrating me.
One question came to me over and over again: where do I belong? Where does Laura belong? Orson or Kripa? We're born here. I have European parents who came here 40 years ago, but I'm also an Indian citizen. And I identify myself more being Indian, weirdly enough, I have white skin, than being a European. Or actually I feel I am international.
Yeah.
And I think many of us born and grown up here feel that.
Kumar, what did you hear Aurora say?
What Aurora is saying, sir, I understand. She confused what she belongs to. And I really feel deep in me. That's why since in the morning I'm saying, not labeling Tamil or Westerner or whatever. I was saying we are Aurovillian. That's why I'm repeating to tell. That is, we are again continue this to saying this. Of course, it's all in a deeper level. It's painful to see that.
What I see, it is important that you know first yourself. Then you can really communicate with others.
Mm-hmm.
The human unity is not like the giving up everything, who you are. For me, it is be rooted in yourself.
Yes.
and then you can go towards others, so that you are not losing. You see, you're just like, otherwise you lose yourself and you are nowhere. And that is where, that's the point where we see here, in Auroville, those we are putting together, we are still separation is there because of this.
I deeply cherish my culture. Now I'm so arrogant when Aurovillians ask me, where are you from? They expect you to say aspiration Auroville. No, Kuila Palayam. Because it's got to my head so strong that I find it repelling to kind of hide under something to not to show my own identity. I want to say something else. My parents were involved in Auroville from the beginning. One of the first people to be involved. But I saw them at a certain time, they didn't want to join Auroville. They were just workers. You know, you employ a worker today, tomorrow you feed them, they're out of the list. You know, there's no history recording them or anything. For me, growing up with that, I felt, no, I'm not going to be just a worker in Auroville. I want to see Auroville grow. I want to put myself totally into it and do that work.
What I hear through it, I feel also pain and longing for things to be different and struggling to be part of Auroville. You know, you are an Aurovillian, but and how you've been trying over the years in your own way to get inside, to be part of it, and trying in your way to find ways to do that. But at the same time, you feel it's still a very, very complicated story, and that we're still very divided, and that what you're longing for is not what you get today.
And also, I want to share another experience, my personal experience that I have. Like, I'm not considered either Aurovillian or either my local village or into anything. I don't know where I am right now because I'm completely lost somewhere. If I go back, I'm not with my family for the past 3 years if I go back home, they don't take my ideas and things. They don't consider that I'm part of the family, and I'm not an Aurovillian yet. Point highlighted. So, but I live in Auroville, and at the same time I live in my village. So here, like, I'm a person. That's it.
So now only maybe the first generation of the educated people from around the villages had come, and there is a lot of disparity between the people here living here and them, the village people. People here living in Auroville, Western people, they think they are superior because it is my own experience in my working place. It depends on me, how I am moving with them. But at the working place, it's totally different. And the people or the local people, village people are made to feel inferior. And the main thing for them is expression. Because English is not their language. They are familiar with only Tamil. That too, within these 20 years, they are struggling. They are struggling to come up to express their views and what they feel about that the other person is doing in that organization, all those things. But it is not taken care of. So at that time, they felt very much wounded and they started shrinking.
I think for the local Tamil Aurovillians, it's even more challenging because of our employed workforce, which is about more than 5,000, and as much as non-Indians and the Western community, they tend to mix them up, the Tamil Aurovillians and the employed people. And it's a very subtle tension, but that tension is there, and they feel like they are treated as employed, whereas they are Aurovillians. I always feel bad about that, and I can try and put myself in their skin, and I'm sure it must be difficult constantly to say I'm a Aurovillian, I'm not an employed person. As much as a non-Tamilian, we sometimes tend to treat them not well, and I know to begin with myself sometimes. I lose my temper with them, but I constantly try to correct myself. It's there. I mean, I don't like to say the word racism, but the racism is there. It's in the skin of human being, whether it's here or anywhere else on the earth, that racism is there.
The separation has started already at a young age itself. Like, I have gone through it, that this peer pressure and like being a teenager, I cannot accept that the fact that the youth are not having this multicultural, integrating with people, because it's difficult to see and to also be in two places. Like, for me, being a North Indian, it's easy to be with the locals, you know, and at the same time being with the foreigner friend zone. But that when I ask the locals, or like, you know, why don't we all just hang out together, or where is that unity, you know, that why is it that, you know, the dark skin are always in one corner and the light skin, or like, you know, light skinned people go party and the dark skinned people cannot go party. Or it starts already at the teenager age. I mean, it's quite annoying that me turning 18 soon, that we're still not there where we are supposed to be. We're not moving forward at all. I mean, for sure it has developed so much to what it was before, but as a collective, human unity isn't there. You know, these groups, these labels, like you were talking, it's so frustrating for a teenager.
I come from Bangalore. I grew up, it's a multicultural and cosmopolitan city. So when I came here, it was for me a culture shock. I'm in the town of unity. I go to Sola Kitchen and I see German table, Italian table, English table, Auroville kids table. There is the unity. And everywhere you go, you have these words like consciousness, spirituality. So somewhere I feel you just drop it, like don't even discuss it. Because the more you're discussing it, the more you're like deepening these grey layers here, you there, me here, and we need to come together. No, we are together. Just pretend that we are together, you know.
This is in 1995. There already arguments started in Auroville, saying, okay, we are coming from Europe and we need, without the cheese I cannot stand. And you guys, okay, eating the rice, you can stay with that. You don't need that financial support. I needed this financial support. This already, that time, the division started.
You have to observe when you say the Tamils are like this, or the Indians are like this, or the Westerners are like this. For me, that's one of the main things to keep. And what Sonia was saying about different people coming now from India, from throughout, coming here, I think that actually brings a very interesting dimension into it, because it makes it less, this is the Indian, this is the Western, and this is the difference, because I can feel really I'm coming from the same space that somebody young Indian coming from a city is very much like me in every way. So that's going to be interesting to play around with.
I think it's the basic underlying fact that some of us feel, I hear you all talking to me, otherwise I have a feeling there is a bit of thing that we believe is racism that is happening between us. It may be that we are using the word for what we are doing wrongly, but we have never addressed it openly.
I think this issue of racism is also very important. Or privilege, or superiority. For me, it's a question of having white skin and how white skin is perceived by white people and by other people, and without calling divisions, this is part of our reality in the world. What do we see about it?
My sense is that maybe some of us who are on entry visas are reluctant to get involved in a conflict because we might fear the status of our visa. Frankly, I know I would have that fear. If I get involved in some ruckus, a local ruckus, then I get kicked out of India. And I am telling you, this is my home. I'm an Aurovillian. I don't care where I was born, but somebody does care. But I wish I didn't have to have a visa. I really wish I didn't. I want to just be here.
It's a paradox. When you come to Auroville to give. Give your life, give everything you have. This is your home, you make it your home. And then you can be kicked out. This feeling here is something that is extremely sensitive and that gives a great inequality.
I had 3 threads in the last 5 years working in one of the work groups. 3 threads that if I would not do what they liked, whether it was in a work situation or I would get trouble with my visa, or I would be the person who take it to the governing board. Till now it didn't happen. And I still want to be courageous, and I still feel if something is not right, I will still speak up.
I feel really ashamed to hear that as a local. I feel very ashamed. Whoever did that, I feel really ashamed.
Same here.
Sorry to say that.
Sorry that happened.
You didn't know. You don't use the visa as a threat ever. That would be like a common bonding agreement to say this is never, we can spit at each other's faces, we can catch each other by the throat, we can roll on the ground, we can be super whatever, but no, you do not say, you get out of this place, you go back to your country. Because whoever crossed the world to come and choose this place as theirs, they have made this place their home. And that this basic acknowledgement, I didn't hear.
I would like to bring another topic in the circle, and it's larger than Auroville. It's to do with fear and safety and kind of aggression, yes, physical aggression, physical violence. I don't feel safe. And it's sad to say, this is my choice. I live more than my half-life here. I live 26 years in this community. I don't have the same experience when I go elsewhere in the world, but here I do have it. You know? When I drive alone at night in certain areas of Auroville, not even so late, I'm sometimes talking or thinking to myself just to make a impression that I'm 2 people on the bike. I mean, it's crazy. Am I completely crazy? Am I alone in this room who feels like that?
No, you're not alone.
So, yeah, I think it's reality with which I live, we live, and I don't have answers.
I just want to reflect on Daria's fear, because Daria, we Indians do have the same fear when our girls go out. I don't think Usha can be very quiet or kind of fearless when her daughter is traveling alone from one place to another place. And throughout India, now it is a disease that caught this country. You can see that in every newspaper every day. And again, about the riots and mobs. Whenever that happens, again, we also have the same amount of fear. Please understand that. That we are not safe here either. Believe us, we don't want to go to the police because we don't want more trouble. If we go to the police, we feel that we are inviting more trouble. And that's our situation too. And we are equally fearful.
I just want to say, pointing out to Shankar and myself, if we could deal with situations like that. Actually, when things happen like this, a lot of people who are close to us personally, they call me and say, don't go out.
So according to my personal experience and the experience I made in this women's safety group, as a woman, whatever skin color you have, whatever age you are, Auroville is not a safe place.
But what do we do? Do we accept it? Because there have been so many cases that have happened throughout this period or whatever, but it's always hidden, it's always pushed aside, it's always not meant to be said, or there is no justice, or how do we give that justice? Yeah, for me it's a very emotional point, because I know my girlfriend that have faced it, I myself have faced it, and you just never get the justice, and always they get away, and it's terrible. And we're not free to walk at night, boys get to drive around at night, but we have to sit at home and we can't go out at night and we don't have. That sometimes we take it as it being our fault. We blame ourselves. It's the way that we dress. It's the way. It's the time of the day. It's going alone. Why do we have to take those precautions? Why is it always our fault?
As soon as we see a group of young Indian men together on the side of the road today, I have fear.
Yeah.
It's not Aurovilians, it is outsiders that come inside, call names, and this happens all the time. And I want to feel safe in Auroville. I want my children to be able to cycle all around. 25 years ago it was different. We'd go cycling anywhere, we'd go at night anywhere. I felt here so secured, something is protecting me. Today I do not have that feeling. I hardly go out at night. I ask someone, I call. I don't even go for walks because I see then people passing by with bikes and making comments, and it's a constant fear, and it's really sad.
I'm on the edge of tears. There's something, I have a sense that there's a lot of the conflict is money-based or material reality-based. And I have no solutions, but a very strong sense that that's so much that we struggle about, interculturally, so to speak. It has to do with the fact that we have unfolded into reality where there's big differences, and also into reality where there is big differences in value of the family. Maybe us coming from the West and some of us leaving something behind, or some of us not having anything really to leave behind. But that for the local people, the family is so important. So what their grandparents did and what they're doing and where their children will go and how it's going to be for them after that, all this is so interlinked in all that. And I feel affected in many different ways, personally and impersonal.
So some sense that there's about kind of access to resources and money, that somehow that really contributes or plays a large part in kind of how these relationships happen and how they unfold.
Also the design of the house, Tamil people house, is not nice. So they want the Tamil house to look like what they want. And we are ready to do that, but we don't have enough money to do that. Basically, if I have 10 lakhs, I can have a nice house. But if I follow their design, it will be like 25 lakhs. Which is, in my whole life, I will not earn that much.
For me, the problem is really economic, and everybody has to fund for money to build his own house, and then there is above that criticism, how dare you build it so ugly. I mean, if you had 30-40 lakhs, yeah, you can build a beautiful individual house. Then some people, you are told you can't build individual homes, you have to be in the apartments, and those who can afford, they still are able to make individual homes. So there is always justice for some and no justice for others.
I felt really disgusted but this local Tamil, like Vinodini is expressing. It's like, oh, I'm totally downgraded to a local village guy. You know, this casteism and all that exists in India very strong. It's another thing, you know, plugging into Auroville. You local Tamil. Deal with that issue individually. Don't label this Tamil or French or whatever you want. It's disgusting. You know, let us grow.
Even when I say Tamil Aurovilians
Yes.
or Vellakara, that
Vellakara,
it's not
it's
derogative.
not a label.
I don't want to put nobody down.
It's just a fact.
I don't think I will get hurt when you, okay, a woman Vinodini is a Tamilian. I am not hurt by that. Oh, you want her, Tamilian. in the group. Let's not pretend we are being fussy about using the word that refers what our identity is. I think the pain that is being expressed is when you use that word in a particular sentence, when you use that word as a generalization where I don't identify with it, and yet I am in that space where I am also included in that word, and I am reacting to the fact that I have gone beyond that. I have come into a different circle. Would you please admit me into a circle that is beyond this identity?
I also heard Vinodini speaking that each one of us relate to what our aspiration, what our commitment to Auroville is.
I feel very grateful and a little humbled to be part of this process, and very touched by all of your willingness to share your heart, make yourself vulnerable in this way. I'm really grateful.
One thing I want to say in this forum, that this is the first meeting I am speaking. I used to attend regularly. Most of the meetings are I don't know which were, because of the fear in me. So many people are talking and my English is not so good, so I cannot express what I am having and feeling, no. And this is the first time I'm coming out, no, all my things being heard, and at the same time I'm made to listen also, because every time if the other person started talking, my brain will start what answer I can give. Now here I am made to sit and listen, and it made very big clarity in me. I feel happy.
We are circling, circling together. We are singing, singing our hearts on.
So what you've just seen here is a brief compilation of our experience during these 3 days. It was a complex and rich experience, and actually a group of us had decided to continue exploring this topic, so we met monthly for almost about a year. And we even want to continue these dialogues in Auroville to really look at how we can bring this learning and this experience into a concrete proposal for change on the community level.
This is family, this is unity.